All right, today we're going to talk about something that society usually just, sweeps under the rug. It's a topic that affects so many men, but it's often met with silence. Guided by the incredible work of urologist Dr. Ayla Kaya, we're going to tear down that wall of shame and look at the real, hard science of what happens when men over 60 stop masturbating. Okay, let's just get right into it.
It all starts with a story that's, well, way too common. A man found alone in his chair. The official report says natural causes, but the real story, the one written in the body's quiet surrender, tells a different tale. It's about a slow and frankly preventable decline, a silent hormonal collapse that didn't start with a disease, but with a decision, one rooted in years of misinformation.
And this is where Dr. Kaya comes in. She's a urologist with over 2 decades of experience, and she says this is not some rare tragedy. No, she's seen it over and over again in her clinic. Men who genuinely believed they were doing the right thing by giving up a part of themselves, only to walk right into a cascade of health problems they never, ever saw coming.
And here's the thing you really got to get. The real enemy here isn't getting older. It's not the number of candles on your birthday cake. It's the decades of societal conditioning, these voices that have taught men that self-pleasure is somehow immature or shameful. And after 60, that belief, well, it doesn't just hurt your pride. It can silently and systematically take apart your health.
So let's get into the first and maybe the most immediate consequence, and you'll see how this all builds. It's the physical shutdown of sexual function. So many men walk into Dr. Kaya's office completely bewildered, saying that one day everything just stopped.
See, here's the biological reality that nobody really talks about. The penis is a living, functional organ. It's not a decoration. It absolutely needs regular blood flow to stay healthy, just like any other muscle or organ in your body. And when that stimulation stops, a pretty dangerous process begins.
This isn't something that happens overnight. It's a quiet, sinister decay that happens in stages. First, the blood flow starts to slow down. Then, because of that, the oxygen levels in the tissue drop. And that's when those sensitive tissues begin to harden, which leads to something called fibrosis. That's the formation of irreversible scar tissue, and that can cause a permanent loss of function.
And listen, this isn't just some wild theory. This is basic biology. The source puts it in a way that just makes so much sense. Imagine if you didn't move your legs for 6 months. What would happen? You'd lose muscle, flexibility. You might even need to learn how to walk again. It's the exact same principle. You don't just put it on pause. The entire system starts shutting itself down.
Okay, so losing physical function is obviously a huge deal, but honestly, it's just the tip of the iceberg. The next consequence goes way deeper, affecting your body's entire chemical command center, your hormones. What's so fascinating is this direct line of communication between your actions and your brain. When there's regular stimulation, your brain gets a clear message. Hey, we're still active down here. Keep producing testosterone. But when you stop completely, that message gets flipped. The brain hears, okay, guess this function isn't needed anymore. Time to shut down production. And that kicks off a vicious cycle that's incredibly hard to reverse.
And the fallout from that hormonal plunge? It's severe. We're not just talking about feeling a little tired. This is a full-body system collapse. Muscle just wastes away. Bones get brittle. You become more susceptible to depression. And your risk for life-threatening events like a heart attack or a stroke goes way up. Men don't just feel sick. They feel like a pale shadow of who they used to be.
All right, let's zoom in a little bit. We've talked about the whole system. Now let's focus on one specific, vital organ that a lot of men worry about, the prostate. This is a problem that builds up silently until it just can't be ignored anymore.
Think of your prostate like an active factory, not some passive little organ. It's constantly producing and storing fluid, and that fluid needs to go somewhere. It needs to be cleared out regularly. So when ejaculation stops, that fluid has nowhere to go. It just sits there. It stagnates, it thickens, and it can lead to inflammation. That's what causes that constant urge to pee, the discomfort, that low-grade pain that so many men just write off as getting old. And the stakes are even higher than just discomfort. As Dr. Kaya points out, there's significant research, including a very well-known study from Harvard, that shows a link between regular ejaculation and a reduced risk of prostate cancer. The idea is pretty simple. By regularly flushing out the system, you're helping prevent potentially harmful stuff from building up in there. We've covered the physical, the hormonal, and the internal organs, but this final consequence, it's maybe the most insidious of all, because it's the one you can't measure in a blood test. It's the slow, quiet numbing of the spirit. The men that Dr. Kaya talks to, they describe it as this profound sense of disconnect. It's not a sharp pain, it's a hollowing out.
It's a feeling like a vibrant part of them has just been shuttered, and the lights inside have slowly gone dark, one by one. They start to feel invisible, unwanted, and unnecessary.
And you know what? This isn't just a vague feeling. It's straight-up neurology. An orgasm isn't just a fleeting moment of pleasure. It's a chemical symphony in your brain. It releases this incredible cocktail of powerful neurochemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, that are absolutely essential for regulating your mood and reducing stress. When you cut off that supply, you leave your brain wide open and more vulnerable to depression, anxiety, and a really profound sense of loneliness.
So after hearing all of this, the question becomes, what now? Well, the answer starts by completely reframing this conversation, taking it away from shame and putting it squarely in the world of health.
So let's just quickly recap what we've learned. The decision to stop, which often comes from a misplaced idea of what's proper, can lead to this terrible cascade of outcomes: a physical breakdown, hormonal collapse, prostate inflammation, and a deep emotional numbness. These are not the inevitable results of aging. They are the results of neglect.
Let me be crystal clear. This conversation is not about being sex-obsessed. It's not about lust. It is about life. It's about preserving the vital functions, physical, hormonal, and emotional, that keep you feeling whole and strong and human. And here is the most important message, coming directly from Dr. Kaya. It is not too late. Your body remembers how to feel. Your mind still craves connection. The power to honor every part of yourself and to reclaim your health and your self-respect, that is still very, very much in your hands.
Look, this information, it can be life-changing, not just for you, but maybe for a friend, a father, or a partner who might be suffering in silence right now. So the final question is really for you. Are you ready to start the conversation and break that silence?